I didn't want to have to do this again. I didn't want to have to be in the same position again, late at night, having these things crush me like a tidal wave, but here we are. God, I had to have a nervous piss over this. Ever do that? Do you ever get that feeling where your leg starts like moving really fast and you're like super anxious and you catch yourself doing it? It just all gets bundled up inside and you feel like you're gonna lose it. That's what this shit does to me. Oh, haha. Really, truly, everyone you've ever loved on the internet can never really be who they say they are, huh? So welcome fans, haters of Pyrocynical, and myself, and everyone in between. If you're new here, why not subscribe, right? It's free, it just takes a second, helps out the channel a lot. Blah blah blah, that's out of the way. Let's talk about the real shit. So yes, there are accusations against Pyrocynical. I want to get this out of the way. This is not meant to be taking one side or the other. We're just going to be reporting on what's been told so far. I'll wait to take a concrete stance until Pyrocynical makes some kind of response of his own, but in the meantime, let's get right into it. For those of you who don't know who Pyrocynical is a British commentary YouTuber. Been on the platform for years and years, been through his fair share of bullshit with machinima, among other things and people. Often jokingly referred to as a leafy clone, a badge that he wears with some comedic pride, and someone whose content that I thoroughly enjoyed. I'm sure most of us thoroughly enjoyed. You know, despite his misgivings and uses of slurs in the past, we assume that he learns and he moves forward and, displays better character traits. Alright, so let's see if we can get the timeline of events straight. Alright, so user ILoveBird on Twitter, 9 a.m. on October 29th, 2020. Trigger warning, Pyrocynical to me, and I have screenshots to prove it. I've been sitting thinking about this shit non-stop, being angry, confused, and sad that I've had to accept this since I was 15, but I never said anything because I felt powerless. What he sent ranged from drawn NSFW to fetishy YouTube videos, and he'd ask me to compile shit for him using tags that he liked on certain websites. At 15, I obviously did it because he's fucking Pyrocynical. I was just happy to be talking to him, and I was trying to continue that. I have Discord screenshots going back 4 years, proving all of this, and IDK if I should post them here, but I may. Either way, I'm done sitting here being quiet about it, when I know mad people went through the same shit, but are extremely traumatized and scared of talking about it. As of 2:05 my time, which is Eastern time, I've been combing over the subreddit, Pyro's Instagram, everything, trying to see if there's been any kind of activity. There's a few posts, some people echoing the things that I'm saying now, but let's see if we can hop back to the timeline. About 2 hours and 15 minutes after, they surface with an Imgur album. Here's the screenshots, y'all. The last one is cement proof that it's him, and I put his Discord ID in the text box below the messages. Going through the screenshots, it's alarming, to say the least. There's some censored content. The user drops slurs. It contains censored messages that user Lovebird states were censored because they were sexual, coming from a minor at the time, and they don't feel comfortable sharing. There's this excerpt from 2018, which is a little less NSFW, and that we'll go through here. They say, just what Alex was saying to me today about Keem. It reminded me of all the RP stuff I used to do last year. There's like so many fucking people I did it with, it's unreal. I don't even remember who and how many, it's that bad. If any of them suddenly don't like my content or for whatever reason, they can just come out me and then everyone else will start coming forward. All it takes is one person and it's a chain reaction. I was contemplating deleting my Discord and making a new one, but I don't think that deletes all the messages, so it's still there. I didn't ever ask for or anything like that, it was just furry shit. But yeah, it happened, and it's just a ticking time bomb. Every morning I wake up with anxiety and check my phone, waiting for someone to message me saying, "Yo, have you seen what Keem tweeted? It's going to happen one day and I feel fucking helpless." That's why I'm so quiet in calls and stuff. I'm just always fucking thinking about it all the time. It takes up such a large part of my life. It's unreal, unless I'm in the best mood possible. Please don't share this message or anything. I haven't and can't tell anyone except you. So, on the chance that this is coming from Pyro, we are to assume there were multiple people involved? But by the same token, assuming this is Pyro, again, we don't know that it is. We don't know if this is even real. You would think he would know better than this, but we've seen time and time again of people tasting the poison of internet fame and it diluting them. We have more... and pardon me, I'm not one to shame images that make me uncomfortable, to say the least. But they continue conversation about their personas committing sexual acts. And the last one is the supposed nail in the coffin, at least according to Lovebird, which links to a clip that the account says, "Bastard, I put that at the end of my new vid, haha. Thanks for showing me, Ghost Boy." And the timestamp does line up in the video linked. Now, things became murky when people started bringing up questions about the Discord ID posted at the bottom of this screenshot, to which Lovebird responds, "I didn't realize that deleted Discord IDs were messed up if they're not taken from a member list on a group. The ID for his account is as follows. It should come up with this username when searched." And they provide a rather blurry photograph. I could ask why they didn't take some kind of screen recording or something like that, but we do have to remember that the alleged victim in this case was underneath a great deal of trauma when attempting to communicate this, which would make sense. Victims of abuse often feel guilt for even discussing their abuser. But a user in the thread, 2 users actually, looked up the ID, and it does identify that it was created in 2015. And this wouldn't be the first time that people have brought up things about Pyro. Regardless of the Keemstar situation, someone in 2019 apparently made this TikTok that is now resurfacing.
When I was in my freshman year of high school, I had a friend who was very, very good at art, and he would draw YouTubers all the time. And one time, Pyrocynical saw art that he did of him, so he DM'd him, telling him how good his art was. And we were all very excited about this. But then Pyrocynical started requesting more and more fat art of his character. And by fat, I mean extremely obese art of his character. And you know what? That's something that I hold near and dear to my heart.
And as of 3 hours ago, the last bit of information we have on the topic is Lovebird denying some fake tweet that was made using Inspect Element. And that brings us to the here and now. The very worrying here and now. So what does it all come to? What are my thoughts? My primary thought is, good lord, I could suck Dionysus dry and there wouldn't be enough alcohol for me to handle this shit, or to handle 2020 in general. But above all, it can be summed up in a word, unsettling. On the one side, if Pyro is innocent, then this is someone deliberately spreading false information and making severe claims that could very well ruin his life. And the idea that internet fame could potentially possess a person to do something like that is beyond disgusting. It's horrifying to think of what some people might do just to draw attention, positive or negative. But on the other side of the coin, if we are to consider this to be true, then that as well is beyond disgusting. The idea that another person in power would leverage that power, knowingly leverage that power, to coerce from an underage individual. And by the way, this isn't just for this situation, this goes for as a whole. It is not a child's fault for not mentioning their age. People should, A, understand boundaries that includes with sexual conversation, and B, you would assume that someone you're getting into a sexual conversation with, you would ask their age, or you would know more about that person. You know, it being an intimate exchange, you would assume that you are, therefore, intimate with the person, therefore aware of certain personal details about them. I'm so stuck with this. I would hate to see a Slazo situation happen again. But I would additionally hate to see a creator that I looked up to for the longest time end up like so many others. I mean, you should all know more than ever that I take a lot of Pyro's flavor for myself. I mean, shit, the guy has been a meme at the end of most of my videos. And I was holding out somewhere in my heart that maybe it's different. Maybe he's different. And because of the magnitude of these allegations, I need to bring up a few final points. I understand it's easy to go to Twitter or to other online spheres to release your allegations because, well, obviously it can spread fast this way. I mean, look at the interactions on the initial tweet. But please do go to some sort of law enforcement. I don't care if it's your local law or if it's some kind of readily available internet law enforcement resource. Please notify some kind of authority. Make that your primary route, and if that should fuck up, which, I mean, come on, we all know the police's track record, then go ahead and bring it to the internet sphere, because at least you exhausted every other avenue. Please, I'm not trying to victim blame, I'm just trying to protect people's lives, I guess at the end of the day. I know I'm walking such a thin goddamn tightrope swaying from side to side, but it really is difficult in an evolving situation like this. Or maybe it's easy for some of these other big commentary YouTubers, but for me, who has to some degree a personal investment in this, it feels like I'm seasick. And I would hate to plummet into the ocean because I'm terrified of the ocean. Number 2, we need to be wary and we need to be patient. What I believe is that we should not immediately discount the victim's statements, but we should additionally be patient for a response from the other party, in this instance, Pyro. We should not blindly boost things, but we should also not witch hunt or hate brigade, because no matter the context, it is brave to speak up about these kinds of things. So the smart thing to do is observe, right? That's not that hard. You don't have to say your piece. You don't have to immediately call bullshit or immediately approve. You need to take the information, process it, let it breathe until a response from the opposite party has been rendered. And I believe that's what I'm trying to do with this video. And third is more of a call to action, sort of like I did in my Ryan Haywood video. I'll repeat the same thing I said there, because it seems to be something that I'm struggling with myself as well. Hot take, while you may not be nearly as important to the people online that you look up to, you should redirect that love at yourself and remember it at all times, so that if you are ever placed in a situation where, whether you may know it or not, your celebrity is trying to leverage their power over you, you need to remember that self-love and that you have the power to say no, the power to speak up about it, and the power to expose these things. And yes, the hate that you might receive, like this person is receiving, can be terrifying, because it's like a vulture looming over you, waiting for you to rear your head on the internet and then striking. But if you are justified, you know what you're talking about, you have the concrete proof, then say something, because you will only be hurting yourself and others by remaining silent. I feel like this would be the part where other commentary channels would try to say something like, if you have any more information, please contact me about it, but I am not the best source to dump your personal information on. I believe that evidence to this case, should you possess any, could be best delivered, again, to your law enforcement agencies or some other more official sphere. I know that my handle on Twitter is official hotbox, but I'm no kind of government official. I'm no kind of great authority. I am a man in his 20s who is hurt at the idea of someone that he looks up to potentially being just another monster, and who's confused right now, and who is, again, trying his best to deliver this information in some kind of succinct and impartial manner. But here I am, I've recorded for an hour straight, and I know I've rambled for a good part of that. If you came here expecting something conclusive or some hard black or white stance, I sincerely apologize to you. But I don't think any of us are in a position to do anything like that right now. Not until the man himself has made a statement. And maybe I'll make some kind of follow-up should Pyro deliver a statement. But for right now, let's let this situation and ourselves all take a collective breath and keep moving forward. If you enjoyed this video, or if you have anything else to say, please do put it in the comments. I would love to know what you think about this, because like I said, I feel dizzy. I can't imagine what it's going to feel like to edit this video, and I love all of you. And before you say I love you back, look in the mirror and say it to yourself. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and an even better tomorrow, and I will talk to you all before you know it. Alright. Bye now.
If you don't abide by this policy, you must have flashlight taped to crotch.